And were quite content with the gift that the source of elements, whether you want to call it Yahweh, Theos, Elohim, Allah, whatever you want to call it, the source of elements placed in Africa the richest of all resources, everything, diamonds, platinum, gold, fruit, everything, and placed a specific group of people there and said, you should be the richest people on the planet. I say so. That's why I put the diamonds in South Africa and the gold in South Africa and Nigeria and the oil. That's why I did it. Because I am God, creator of heavens and the earth. And I want you to be the richest people on the planet. You hear me? So I've given you the best of everything. But I've also given you my heart. And that's going to make you extremely and carefully compassionate. You're going to open your arms up to any and everybody. And you're going to get stepped on. You're going to get walked on. But that's going to be a school for you in this short journey into becoming a perfect being. A carved ashlar, a cut stone. It's going to be in your making from a regular man to a better man. You have to have moral control, disciplines. You know, you got to just round yourself out and square yourself off. Keep yourself in check, in other words, that you can better serve humanity. and we try. But what we get in return is we open the doors to our cultures and we get robbed. We get hung, castrated, tarred and feathered. We get no justice. We get no fair treatment. We don't get equal opportunity. And if one of us, maybe a Dr. Martin Luther King is born, a great man with a great purpose, and they analyze him the way they analyze a lab rat from what he is doing to what he is capable of doing in a projected period. That's how they work, you see. You work from day to day because that's all the money you make. But they work with plans and investments and in stock, and they got things planned for the future. So they looked at the future of where Dr. Martin Luther King would be and what he would be doing, not what he was doing. You follow that? And when he made 1 million people walk to Washington, I'm not talking about Farrakhan. Farrakhan flew in. He didn't walk with like Dr. Martin Luther King. He walked with his people of Ebenezer Baptist Church. They walked there, wore out 10 pair of shoes. But they was building up a divine momentum of energy. There was a drive, like back in Africa when they played the drums, boom, boom, or a Pentecostal church when they banged the tambourine. Or the reverend started singing and the gospel started moving, the feet started snapping, the hands started clapping, and the spirit starts to move through that church. That's a living power that's in you from God. That they want suppressed because it's a dangerous power. It's a venging spirit. It's a powerful 9 living spirits move through you. You understand? And they feared. They saw Dr. Martin Luther King was not just a preacher. He was also a teacher because he was saying things that were eternal in statement. Judge a man by the content of his character and not the color of his skin. That kind of statement can end up a biblical statement if we ain't careful. That's as good as what Jesus almost said. And if it works for human beings and makes them better, that man is dangerous. What would Dr. Martin Luther King be doing right now? How much would he have gotten done for us by now? I'm not talking about Malcolm X. Malcolm X was talking about Pan-Africa, separating blacks from whites, going different directions. He was talking another thing, which would have started a race war. But Dr. Martin Luther King had another strategy. Right? What would he be doing now for us as a people? How far would we have gotten with that kind of leadership? He would have made a president. Muslims can talk about Jews. Jews can talk about Muslims. Muslims can talk about Christians. Christians can talk about Jews and Muslims. That's what they do. How else will they get followers if they don't beat down other people? They won't draw nobody out of love, that's for sure. So they got to spend their whole dialogue beating each other up to make other people, you right, I'm with you then. And the nigga that goes with him for beating you up, when someone else comes along who's charismatic, and an eloquent speaker, they're going to shoot. All right. And one minute they're Sunni Muslim, next minute they're 5%, next minute they're Nation Islam, next minute they're back in the Holy Name Baptist, Mount Zion Baptist Church. And that don't work. They with the Hebrew Israelites acting like dynasty brothers. All that is power of mind, showing how dangerous you are. Because each one of you are Dr. Martin Luther King, just dormant. You have something to say, you just don't know how to say it. You have something to express, you don't know how to express it. You've divided yourself. You become conquered in spirit. And that is worse than the fact that you were conquered in body. You became conquered in spirit because you have surrendered your identity to another's. You hear me? They want you to worship Jesus Christ, not in the image that the Bible describes him as in Revelations, but in the image that Michelangelo describes him as, and you accepted it because you're docile. You won't even stand up and fight for Christ. You call yourself a Christian, but you won't even fight for Christ's identity. And if identity, let me repeat this, and if identity, let me say it one more time, and if identity was not necessary, the word begot would not be in the Bible. And he begot him, who begot him, who begot him, who begot him. Somebody was trying to keep a record. Somebody wanted to say, you came from him, and 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 from him, and this is Adam, and you came from God. To keep a line of blood, a link, and to make sure that he made that point, he named the first man blood. To make sure he was saying it was spirit down to Adam. Adam or Adama in Hebrew from Edom means red blood, clotted blood, earth, dust. You understand what God did? God made sure you knew that Adam was the first manifestation of the physical by just saying his name is Adam. And then Adam had him. And it keeps on going on down to you. Now the sad thing about it is, somewhere along the line, what they did is they clipped or they severed the physical blood link between you and Adam, and they present you with what's called a leap of faith. I remember that movie. Yeah, they know what they're doing. You know what a leap of faith is? A leap of faith is, I got to leap from me back to Muhammad. And back to Gabriel, and back to Allah. Well, I got to leap from me back to Jesus Christ, and then from Jesus Christ to his Father. All that, you see the leap, but there's a gap missing. But Jesus, he didn't have that gap. They made sure in Matthew, they said, he is the son of him, who 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 is the son of Adam, who is the son of God. That tells you that the Bible thinks genealogies and blood links are important. God thought so. But somewhere along the line, they want you and I to leap for faith. They want me to leap thousands of years and bump into, in that path, Michelangelo's impression of the Lord Jesus Christ. Not in my image, not in my likeness. And if I'm reading Genesis and say, God said I'm creating man in his image after his likeness, and then I get there and I'm not in the image and after the likeness of God, then I must be the devil. And whether I know that in my conscious or now mind, I am storing it in my subconscious mind and acting on it. And that's the power of the devil. And to seal it and to guarantee that it stays sacred, I introduce a very powerful thing. You know what it is? Fear God. Fear Allah. Fear this or you'll burn in some form of hell. You see, God identified everything in the Bible as good and bad. He even called gold good in Genesis. And if there's good gold, then there's... But he didn't say that about fire or light. So the Freemasons will say light is good. Muslims will say Allah is not sama wati wal arda. With that, khayr, that's good. They'll say in the language. Now khayr, that's good. He's a light, Allah is the light of the heaven and the earth. Simply called Allah the sun though. But light is good. How about light being bad? Is there bad light? They go, this is something to think about. Is there such thing as bad light? Well, if there's good gold and good people and bad people and good weather and bad weather and good days and bad days, then there must be good light and bad light. God said the light that he created was good. Does that mean there's no bad light?
The mysteries of Egypt intrigued you, the secrets of the pyramids, and the scientists that built them. Well, now you can have these secrets. Now you can enter into ancient Egyptian order and learn who and what you are. Who built the pyramids? Why? Medicine, alchemy, the secrets of symbolism revealed to you. Enter the ancient Egyptian order. Now.
Talk to me. Are there?
Some of the things I've been studying over the years is there's
Gas, coal.
there's coal, there's a fire.
I know where you read it. I know where you read it.
You know where I read it?
Yeah, I wrote it.
You read it? I read it while you
You sure did?
About the
Well,
fire.
what I'm gonna get to is, whose child is that? Don't wake the baby up. Whatever you do. Huh? Whose child is it? Okay.
I didn't born it.
No problem. It's your child. It's everybody's child right now. If the child is consumed in fire, lit by an evil person whose intention was solely to burn the child, for no intelligent reason, the person would be bad. Would the fire also be bad? Okay, extremely hot, especially if it burns somebody else. Is hot good? At a certain temperature, your body can no longer resist heat. Is that when it becomes bad to you?
I would think so would burn.
Yeah, so if the fire burnt the kid, wouldn't that be bad fire? Is there any fire that lights without light?
Fire light and not light. Well, if
Yes,
you have a light
yes.
within yourself.
No, intelligence.
Oh, that's intelligence.
Well, they call cutting on the light intelligence. Like the light bulb, they go, beep, on fire.
I read a long time ago that somebody set in the fire and they walked and stepped down in the fire. Oh, I forgot that too.
But it doesn't, I'm going another way. I'm saying light is also the mind. It also, when you have knowledge, knowledge is considered light. Correct? So, is that restricted to good information, or is the knowledge that the devil imparted to Eve, which was also light, was that good or bad light?
Yeah, but I can't make I mean, the difference.
Okay, let's try again then.
Light, but light
If you walk into a dark room and you're looking for something, and your daughter says, cut on the light, and she doesn't tell you how bright the light is in the room, and you cut on the light, and the light blinds you for the rest of your life. Was that good or bad light? Now that was a bad light. You know why it became bad? Because it became personal. Yeah, when burning the kid up, you had an argument. You see, you had to negotiate whether it was bad when it was a kid. When it became me, you said, now that is bad.
I still really want to talk about it. I'm still talking about some kind of fire that I have been about.
Oh, this fire that doesn't burn.
Yeah, that don't burn.
Oh yeah. But I'm not trying to say all fire is bad. I'm trying to say, I was trying to get at the mind that conceives the burning is bad light in the sense of bad knowledge. The actual burning of the child or whomever is bad light, bad fire. Because it brought pain and suffering. So there is a such thing as good light and a such thing as bad light. Though the Bible speaks of good light, he's talking about the sun. And he later on describes, I set them in the sky as signs of time, right? And seasons. And we live by these times and these seasons, these 12 signs of the zodiac, as we would call it. Or the 12 organs of the body that move around, etc. And that's controlled by some intelligent force. We'd like to, what? We'd like to believe that all this actions and activity is controlled by some intelligent force, which we trickle down to be God. Right? Self. Okay, well, God is self insofar as God said, I breathed into you of my spirit, and you became a living soul. So as long as you are a living being with emotions, then God is still present in you. And the Bible, St. John said, that's the same light that lighteth every man that cometh into the world. So that light of God is the life in man. So God is present in each being, which is where I started. Right? And if something interferes with the flow of God in man, it must be devil. And then we had a problem with who gave the devil that kind of power. Unless the devil was also a man, and like every other man had what you're calling free will. You know what I mean? Because Muslims are good at using the word free will and self-determination. Unless I use my free will and self-determination to say I don't want to believe in Allah, and then all of a sudden it's not, then I'm a bad guy. It's granted to me to use until I use it. It's all right for me to have my own mind, as long as my own mind is in accord with what you want me to believe. But if I'm in the church, or the mosque or the synagogue, and I'm exercising the right of my own mind, and one of the things I decide is I don't want to be there, I become a bad person. How'd that happen? If God granted me the right to free will, and I will not to be religious, am I still bad, or am I obedient to God in my own way? Do you understand the trick, how thin the veil between logic and illogic is, in the borderline of confusion that man is walking on because he has been compliant? The point I'm reaching at is you have allowed yourself to fall into this position by opening yourself up and making yourself available for too much in your pursuit of so little. All you want is the truth. But people who hold the truth won't tell you the truth. And they won't tell you they don't know the truth. They don't even understand the concept of in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. They wouldn't understand if you said, I said, Bereshit, bara. The Hebrew word doesn't say no, in the beginning it says, Bereshit, bara. Do you understand that? Well, I don't speak Hebrew. Then you don't understand the Bible. Then take off the collar. Take off the title reverend, minister, preacher, pastor, and step down off the pulpit, because you will be giving us bad light, corrupt information if you don't know what you're talking about. Because you're not talking merely to my body, you are also talking to my soul. And I want to believe you because you're a human and you may be a link back to Adam and back to God for me. Only because we allowed ourselves to be cut off. Only because you walk into a church and look up and you see a Michelangelo impression of God and it cuts you off. So you don't have what Jesus Christ had when you can say Jesus, Joseph, Mary, and back to David. You don't have that. So you don't have a link back to Adam, who's the son of God. There's a gap. And that gap is ignorance. Not ignorance in the derogatory sense of the word, but ignorance in ignoring the facts of who and what you are. And trace yourself back to your greatest point and start there. Not at your weakest point. I am down and out, so I need God. I am depressed, so I need God. I am poor, so I need God. Not then. You don't need God then you need man. Man helps people not be poor, not God. Men and women help people be depressed or get an analyst and get you out of that depression, not God. You hear me? You don't need God until you're at your high point, when you're reaching. And you know where you find that God at? You know where that God is at? That God is his lady, that lady sitting right there. Your God is sitting right in front of you. Because that's your mother. Right? Okay, that's God. I know you're all right. Philadelphia will give you some birthday too. You know I know. That's your God. As the person in your family, familiar, closeness, that person behind you is your link to God. And this is not blasphemy, fool. This is the Bible. But they made Mary identify Jesus' genealogy in the Bible. They made them name each person all the way back to Adam. But you won't do it. They don't want you to look back to your mother and your grandmother. You know what they'll call that? That's ancestral worship. That's voodoo. That's black magic. For a while. If I'm going to do any kind of magic, it's going to be black. It ain't going to be white magic, black as I am, that's for sure. That's step one. But why, when I want to touch base with my genealogy and my blood, who begot, I got to be Santeria. I got to be Yoruba. I got to be some kind of devil worshiper or some type of evil thing. But it's all right when a Caucasian walks into the church and he looks up at a picture of Christ, he can feel a sense of blood identity. He can feel a link. So the open arms is familiar. So when a statue of Christ stands like this in a Caucasian church with a Caucasian image, there's a familiarity there. They're right there with me. I got to be taught to love other than myself. And you want to know why there's black on black crime? Because I've been taught to love other than myself as God, other than my image as God, other than my complexion as God. And thus everybody outside of that image and that color and complexion must be the devil. So kids feel it's all right to be evil because it's inbred in them. But if I put up an Egyptian statue, the same height as the statue in the Catholic Church, but for some reason the Egyptian statue stands out as pantheism or paganism, but the statue on the cross like this, on my neck with Christ on it, this ain't pantheism. I can walk around town with this. I can have one this big. I can carry one on my back and tote it down through Edenton with Christ on it, and people will step aside and go. No explanation, but if I carried one of them Amun-Ra statues to town, paganism, pantheism, people brought out. What is that? Conditioning. Conditioning that my image is bad and your image is good. And I must get my image in my child's head before you get your image in my child's head. And my child wants to be what they can't. Sisters, extensions does not mean your hair is straight. It doesn't. Doing this doesn't mean a thing. You're still woolly head, kinky, nappy, in the kitchen. And what's so beautiful about that is that if you was driving down a road and trees were in front of you and you looked up, you'd see the planet Earth has an afro. It might shock you. If you look around, you'll see that there's but one group of people on the planet with that kind of hair. Everybody else got the same kind of hair. So if there is one God, a unique being, and created somebody in his image and after his likeness, then whoever that person is in the image and after his likeness, there has to be unique. There has to be something that says, you're God. And everybody else are your children. That don't mean you don't love them. But they have to honor you. That their days may be long. They have to honor this hair, crown. A lot of you people are too young to remember. The main grease that your grandmama and them just leave. As you can tell by the color of my bed, I'm your grandfather. Right? Used was World Crown's hair grease. They used to cook their hair with World Crown hair grease. And we never knew why they had a crown on the hair grease until Don King showed us. We never saw the crown until Don King took it off his nappy head and put it on a boxing ring. And he said, crown, Don King, royal crown, crown, king, kinkly, kinky, kingly, I sing. And then he said, I am somebody. You know the bad thing about that? When we say, I am somebody, and then we try to say, or try to prove who we are, we got to reach into Egypt.
Thank you.